Hi, Anson Garcia here again with Verizon. Today we're going to be taking a look at Ring Central. These guys are getting serious, they're getting big, and they're growing like mad. They have just won for the third year in a row the IHS Market Award for the largest, most seats UCaaS provider in North America. They're growing fast. They even have global presence now. They have all your basic PBX features. They got Teams messaging. They got room systems. They have everything. Now, we're going to take a look at their pricing. We're going to take a look at their clients. We're going to take a look at their room systems. And we're going to take a look at their clients in demos. All right, in demo, you know I like to do demos, so we're going to actually kick the tires on the clients themselves. We're going to look at how they look and how they feel and how they're laid out and how you do messages and Teams and meetings and things like that inside these clients. We're also going to look at their web clients. And then most intriguing of all, and this is what led me down this road, is they have an Office 365 Teams integration. All right, they've had Office 365 and Google Suite, Salesforce. They've had those integrations before, but what's new is the Office 365 Teams integration. That is kind of cool. I think it has legs. So just quickly, what they're trying to do is, what's the weak part of Microsoft Teams? Lack of PBX features, voice quality. It's pretty good, but they have the bad voice quality award from back in the day, right? And people are still a little sketchy on going all in for cloud provided voice from Microsoft. But hey, what if you can take out the PBX features, or what if you could take out the phone video portion of Microsoft Teams, because everything else, all the OneDrive, the SharePoint, the Exchange, the meetings, the channels, all the DLP and security and compliance stuff you can do Microsoft Teams, wow. It is just awesome. The PBX features, garbage, all right? Still garbage. So what if you could rip out that portion of Microsoft Teams and put in something like a Ring Central? Okay, let's see if it works. So join me and let's check it out. Okay, just a quick bit of history on Ring Central. So they were founded in 1999. They're headquartered in Belmont, California. Now, the first round of funding came, they were founded by two guys that had already started another startup. They came away from another startup that were doing this, cloud PBX, SaaS. And in 2006, their first round of venture capital was funded. And in 2011, which is pretty cool, Cisco was one of their big investors. So there was a couple of others, but this is, as I understand, their second round of funding in 2011. In 2013, they IPO. 2013 is when Slack started, if you remember. They started at about 7.5 million shares at $13 per share. That's what I found online. So if you guys follow Ring Central, I mean, they're north of $240 a share now, these days. They partnered with Zoom in 2014. They partnered with Zoom to bring in meetings. Okay, so remember they started as a calling platform, right? PBX in the sky, phones, soft phone, phone on your mobile device, things like that. And then they added Zoom, right? And they just rebranded. So they started a partnership with Zoom, and they brought their audio, video, web collaboration client right into their client. All right. In 2015. They acquired Glip. Now, if we remember, it was around that time, Slack's on fire now. Cisco Spark is starting to cause a lot of buzz. We all kind of feel the winds of change in the UC environment. This Teams messaging, workstream messaging, this project-oriented messaging is kind of coming into the UC fold. At that time, they go out and buy Glip. Glip was a team collaboration SaaS service. They brought that in because they needed that, round out that portfolio of workloads inside their unified communication platform. And to further round out, in 2018, they acquired Dilemma Contact Center. They were strong in AI. And then they bought Connect First, which was a little bit different, more outbound customer engagement, contacting customers without dial. I always think of the robocalls, when we think about this stuff. And in 2019, this is they're wanting to tell everybody we are a big gorilla too. Last year, they purchased naming rights to the Oakland Coliseum. Okay, let's see what Gartner has to say about them. If you see here in 2018, you know, they're up here in this quadrant, and everyone kind of in this industry wants to buy in this, or wants to be in this leader quadrant in the upper right here. You can see they're there in 2018. They climb a little bit more and go a little bit more to the right. So you want to get higher and you want to go over, right? For your ability to execute and your completeness of vision, right there along the side here. So you can see they're gaining traction. They're going forward. They're moving up the chain. Some other folks you can see in here kind of going up, down, you know, around. Microsoft doing good, right? They're over here. Now they're in the leader quadrant. So they're playing with the big boys. Here's a couple of awards that they won. One significant one, I think, is this the best in comms API. So that's a pretty significant one. You know, they're being open. They're letting people integrate, and they're also being able to integrate into other, whether it be Box or OneDrive, Google, calendaring, Salesforce, things like that. So they're building their APIs very well and very deep so they can integrate into these other workloads. So let's take a look at plans and pricing. So it used to be that they were kind of all over the map. They had this Pro Office or Office Pro or Business Pro or something like that. So I find a lot of old documentation like that. Now they've kind of simplified things. It's like one product now. So let's take a look at, we got our freemium here, right? And what do you get with that? You get the Teams messaging, you get the GLIP. In other words, so you get, really, this is the old GLIP stuff. You get GLIP, and then you get audio video as well. Now, you can only have 2 people, so you can really have a meeting with 2 people. But, you know, you get it, and remember, that's powered by Zoom. Really, it's really Zoom, you know. So you get a little bit of that and a little bit of that for the freemium one. All right, and then you go down up the chain here, Essential. That starts at $19 a month per user. Now, this is going to give you your number. This is going to give you your directory number, right? And it's going to add a little bit of data loss prevention. GLIP is very light on the data loss prevention. The thing that I found there was basically a global retention policy. There's some other vendors that just have that too. And then there's some vendors that are very granular. You can have data loss prevention or retention policies, an actual policy that you put on different people, different groups. So you can see that there's a lot of features there, and I didn't list them all, but there's a lot of features. They got all the main PBX features. You're not going to find anything too egregious that you can't do as far as your voice PBX system. And then we get to standard. All right, from here on out, we kind of mostly add toll-free minutes, and we add more people inside your Zoom meetings or your RingCentral branded, you know, Zoom meetings. You also add a couple of things. So here we add customer app development. What that means, I couldn't really find exactly what that means. Maybe they'll help you if you want some development or you need some extension of their APIs. Maybe they'll work with you there on that. I'm not exactly sure what that is. You get QoS reports, so you're starting to get now some analytics as far as your quality of experience and your MOS scores and things like that, delay, jitter, good quality, bad quality call. You get multi-level attendant. This is where you can have multiple levels of an auto attendant. English and Spanish is one example that they give. Also, if you have multiple sites, you can have multiple layers, 800 number, and then if you want our Houston, or you want San Antonio, or you want the Corpus Christi office, you know, punch here, and then you can have a myriad of complex multi-level attendant and IVR. And then you get to your premium, and again, we're getting more toll-free minutes, more people inside the meetings. We add SSO here, so there's a couple of things that are being added. We go to the ultimate, again, we're getting some more minutes and adding more people. And then we have a couple of add-ons, the contact center and your Engage. All right, those are the two First Connect and DeMello, I think it was, that they purchased a few years back to bring that and round out their portfolio for their customer care products. So let's take a look at the endpoints. I'm not going to go into this. You can certainly check on these yourself, but I just want to say that they got a lot of them. Polycom, Cisco, Yealink phones, and then they also have ATA as well. So you have this ATA. So if you want to connect up to an overhead paging or door locks, and then as far as room systems over here, well, they're taking kind of the semi-Microsoft way to do things. You're going to buy an off-the-shelf hardware to create this room system. It's done a pretty good job. All of them kind of do the same thing, the way they kind of construct. And I don't say all of them. Cisco, remember, builds their own. RingCentral's done a pretty good job here, and kind of industry standard as far as how you build these systems other than Cisco. You buy a big Costco display, right? You go get your cheap 75-inch Costco display. You buy yourself a new Mac. You buy yourself a nice Logitech camera, and you buy yourself a nice sound system, speakers and mic, and then you tie it all together with this app. The app does go on the PC. I should point here, the PC, and then you put the app on the iPad, and you get like maybe a nice little kickstand or something like that for the iPad, and it becomes your kiosk. It becomes the controller for the room system. They've done a really good job here. In other words, what you would do to set these things up the way they work is you plug everything in, you install this app on your PC or Mac, and then you install the app on the iPad, and you glue the two together, and then you register them to the RingCentral in the RingCentral room systems, and then it becomes one system, and then you can control everything from here. It almost looks like one system. My volume, my schedule meeting, my connect to a meeting or join a meeting, mute video. All those things are kind of controlled from the iPad. So it takes off-the-shelf, basically hardware, cheap hardware, allows you to create a room system that's fairly economical. And then you have an add-on, and this add-on just basically adds a license for room, what they call room connector. And what this is if you have, let's say you have a Cisco WebEx board out here, we'll call it a WebEx board, right? And it's connected to the other guy's stuff, right? It's connected to WebEx Teams in the cloud. With all these videos, whether it be a Polycom system on Avaya or anything, most of them do standards-based video. Now, to get into this other guy's video system, right? These video systems are sitting out on the internet, and they do their own kind of proprietary, voodoo when it comes to camera control and muting and, the layout, how are you going to have your different participant layouts and things like that. So that's usually proprietary. But if most all systems will do a basic SIP URI, okay, and you can bring those in if you add this on in your environment. So in other words, a simple way to say this is if I have all these RingCentral room systems and I got a partner and he's got Cisco stuff and they have a couple of room systems they would like to join our group in these calls that we're having, and they've only been able to join audio video, or they've only been able to join on their PCs with the RingCentral little plug-in. Well, we want them to be able to use their big Cisco WebEx room system, and the way we do that, we add this license. We'll get a URI inside the invite. We can give them that URI, or when we invite them in Outlook or Google Calendar or whatever, it'll ship it to those individuals. They'll have the SIP URI. They'll punch a button or they'll dial that SIP URI from their Cisco stuff, and they'll be able to participate. And if they have multiple displays, they'll be able to display talking head on one, shared content on the other, and it'll work pretty much not natively exactly, but they'll be able to do your basic room system stuff. Okay, let's switch gears into RingCentral clients. What kind of clients do they have? In other words, what things go on your desktop or your iPhones or Androids or things like that? Well, the first thing is the RingCentral Meetings client. This is akin to the WebEx desktop app. What does it allow you to do? It allows you to join meetings. Okay, it's that desktop piece on your Mac or PC that allows you to join meetings. Now, just like WebEx meetings, it does have a join via web browser, right, and uses WebRTC and things like that are built into the newer technologies of certain web browsers. You can see, it's meeting stuff. It's the Zoom. It's the Zoom part of Ring Central. So that's what it is. It allows you to join meetings. Okay, let's continue with the clients. Now we have the Ring Central, and I'm going to call it the thick client. That's the program, the MSI, the package, the exe file that you can install on your desktop or Mac. Now this brings everything. It's kind of the whole enchilada. So not only meetings, but it brings your team messaging. So it brings the GLIP part of that back end into the experience. Right here, you can see we have direct messages, group chats, team chats, and things like that right in here. And then we have PSTN calling. So it's going to bring that VoIP phone inside here. It's going to bring the Ring Central meetings. And it's also going to bring in SMS and MMS, which is kind of cool. You know, it's a facility where inside your Ring Central thick client, since you have a phone, it also allows you from that phone number that you have to be able to SMS other phones and also send multimedia, which is kind of nice. Okay, and then we have the web app. Has all the same things. In fact, some manufacturers had a little problem with this. So everyone tries in this space, tries to do your thick app, right? And then your web app. And sometimes those don't match up. And what I mean by that, the feature parity doesn't match up, right? There's a lot of enterprises that don't want to run, they don't want to distribute MSIs or executables or anything like that, or they're running maybe Chromebooks or something like that, and you just want a web browser experience. Some manufacturers haven't done that good. I was surprised to see that Ring Central has done a great job in feature parity. In fact, I couldn't find anything in their web browser app, their web app. You can see that I'm in a web browser here, and then this is their thick client. This is the application that goes on a PC or a Mac. But between these two, there was pretty much everything I tried worked in the other one. So pretty good feature parity between the thick client and the web client. Okay, some other app integrations are the G Suite Chrome extension, and I put web app here because it's in a web browser. So what does this allow you to do? Well, you know what it is basically, if you're in G Suite, if you're in Google Chrome and using your G Suite calendar, your Google Calendar, or if you're anywhere in the G Suite ecosystem, you're going to have a little phone over here on the side of your web browser, and you'll be able to click to dial also inside your Gmail. You'll be able to start a meeting, paste in meeting information, and things like that. So this is good, again, because if you're in an enterprise that locks down PCs or only uses Chromebooks or something like that, you're working inside your browser. Inside your browser, there's going to be some hooks into the G Suite workloads. In this little phone pop-up that comes up here in your web browser, you're going to be able to have the same contacts that exist in your Google contacts over here in your web browser over here, or you click on contacts or whatever. They also have the same thing or something similar for Salesforce. That brings the same thing. So if you're in Salesforce, if you're in a web browser and you're in salesforce.com, here, it's going to be able to integrate right into Salesforce portal. The concept here is to stay in your application that you use. If it's Salesforce that you use, you're going to be able to stay in that application. Let's say engage with your customers, call your customers, receive incoming calls and everything while you're in that particular workload. And then there's some other novelty things. I just threw this in here because it's something that they have. It's integration with Alexa, and you can do things like Alexa, read my voicemails. Oh, that was mom that called. Go ahead and call back this voicemail so I can talk to mom or whatever. So this is the thing I was most intrigued about, the Microsoft integrations, particularly because they had Office 365 Chrome extension that included Teams. It has a cool little feature. I think this may go somewhere. This may have legs. It's in beta right now. Okay, let's take a look at what the Microsoft integrations are. There's a Microsoft Teams bot, all right? Everybody's doing this. So there's nothing earth-shattering here. What this does is, all we're going to be able to do is we're going to be able to integrate a bot inside your Microsoft Teams, thick client, web app, doesn't matter. And then what that's going to be able to do is post your meeting information, post the Ring Central meeting information. If you're in a direct chat or a group chat or a channel, you're going to be able to push a button. It's going to paste in the message body there where you're doing your messaging, Ring Central meeting information. So you can click and go to a meeting, or click and go to an audio conference. That's what that bot really, that's its main function. Now there's nothing, again, nothing earth-shattering here. A lot of folks are doing that. WebEx does that as well. Zoom does that inside Microsoft Teams as well. What is a little bit more interesting is this functionality right here. So there's an Office 365 Chrome extension. This is similar to the G Suite extension that I talked about a little while ago. It's going to bring your little, let's wipe this out here, but if we're in a little web browser here, and there's our little HTTP, whatever, 365, right? And we're in Outlook or something like that. It's going to, over here in the corner now, and I'll show you that in a minute in the demos, it'll have your little phone. And in there you'll have contacts, and it'll sync the contacts with your contacts in Outlook. It'll also be able to push a button, and you can start a meeting, things like that. You can paste meeting stuff, and it has some integration with Outlook web app where you can make a Ring Central meeting. It'll bring your Ring Central meeting inside there. So you click meeting, you invite your attendees, and you click another button in the Outlook web app, and it'll add your Ring Central meeting information, the URL that you need in there, the audio conference bridge information, and things like that. Again, nothing earth-shattering there. What's different is this little Teams thing right here. So there's a little extra secret sauce. And that secret sauce, if you are in 365 and you're in a Teams, right? You're in the Teams app, you're in the Teams workload. In the Teams workload, there is a little button for phone, and so you can dial, and there's also a button for meetings, so you can escalate to a particular meeting in a channel, group chat, direct chat, or something like that. Now, what it does, what you can do is in your settings for this particular web extension or Chrome extension is you can change the function of these two little buttons that are buried inside Office 365 Teams web app. And I'll show you that if that doesn't make sense, it will make sense during the demos. But again, instead of being able to click the button and do a Office 365 Teams meeting, you actually click the button and use Ring Central meetings, if that makes any sense. All right, so that's really cool. And let's see where that goes. I'm interested to see if they gain any traction. Ring Central has all the PBX stuff in the cloud, right? Microsoft Teams is still not trusted really to be the PBX in the cloud. They don't have all the features and things like that. But if you can bring the PSTN features of Ring Central, shoehorn them inside your Microsoft Teams, that starts to get interesting, because then you're getting the best of both worlds. You can call it the best of breed of particular teams. Well, that's probably Microsoft Teams, right? They're gaining a lot of traction out there. The best of breed of your cloud PBX, well, according to Gartner, Ring Central's up there. So if we can plug that in, that's pretty good. So we'll see how that works out here in a minute. And then we have this Ring Central meetings for Outlook thick client. What is that one? And I put there, it's like the WebEx. So if you're familiar with the WebEx productivity tools, you're in Outlook, right? This is the thick client app, Outlook, and you schedule a meeting Outlook. Remember that you have a couple little buttons up there. You add your Ring Central meeting. It'll add your Ring Central meeting right into the body of your Outlook meeting, and the audio conferencing information also. So very easy if you do work in the Outlook Thick app. Okay, first let's poke around the client. Here's the Thick client right here. It's already been downloaded from their site, and let's go ahead and log in Alex Garcia right here. There we are. So we're logged in, and I'm going to give it a second here because that phone is going to prompt us to make sure. There it is. That was quick. I'm going to confirm our address to make sure this is for emergency services for 911. Okay, and I'm just going to say, yep, that's okay. That's my phone number. All right, let's poke around here on the left here. We're in messages right here. Okay, so in messages, you have at the top at mention. So anybody that at mentions you in a direct message, okay, underneath here, this is where your chats are, your one-to-one chats and your group chats. But if anybody at mentions you in a group chat or your Teams chats, which are down here, they're going to come up right up here. Anything you bookmark is going to be up here as well, and anything favorites is going to be right up here as well. Here's a direct message with Anson, okay, and we can direct message. In fact, let's go over here. We're Alex. Let's direct message Trinity, okay. So here's Trinity right here. We're going to do a plus here. We're going to do Trinity. And I don't want to use that one because there's a reason I don't want to use that one. You'll see I got another Trinity up here, and you see how I get a green bubble there. That means she's online. This is regular, you know, messaging stuff, so I'll just say hi there. Okay, and you can see that she gets a toast over here, and she's going to get an indicator here, and she's going to get an indicator right there. You see that little badge right there? We can go over there and, you know, say whatever back. All right, let's go back to Alex. There's the response back. Now, if I wanted to bookmark this right there, I could bookmark that. All right, and then that's going to be in my bookmarks. Okay, I didn't do it, but well, let's do it. Bookmark this guy right here. And you can see, there it is. Okay, there's the bookmark. So if maybe someone told me to take care of something today or something like that, so that's kind of neat. And then let's go ahead and remove the bookmark. In fact, I could have removed the bookmark from over here as well. See, you can remove bookmarks from here. So, and in favorites, you know, these are your favorite teams or your favorite people or your favorite groups, group chats. So any one of these you can say is your favorite. So if you wanted to mark this person as one of your favorites, you can do that very easily. Right there. Okay. And you see Trinity's now up there. All right. So let's take that off. And then the other direct messages here, I don't know if you noticed here, but this is a little call out right here. These are SMS messages. So this is where you would SMS somebody. Now the system is smart enough to know Trinity's mobile phone number. Okay, because it's in my contacts. You can see here, we can SMS her right here, and that's going to go to her phone. Okay, here we have Trinity's phone here, her mobile phone. You can see there's some text messages down there. Let's go right into the text messaging and see what's going on there. And you can see there's that message right there that we just sent. All right, so let me move that over just a second. And you can see that she's got a text message, a regular text message. So that's kind of neat, where you can contact people not only in their app, in their Ring Central app, but you can also text message them as well. Okay, let's continue down here. We have a group chat right there. That's what a group chat looks like. You can see that we see all the members in there, and we also see any guests outside of our organization. So that's pretty neat too. That's common among some other vendors of team messaging as well. And then we have our teams over here. Now, teams inside Ring Central, which is really GLIP underneath the hood, remember, is not as full featured as some of the others, but it has the basic meat and taters in here. So you can create teams, you can add people as members of the team, you can even do some tasks in here and things like that. So you have your basics in here. You can create meetings in here and things like that, which I'll show you here in a second. And you can create many teams, and then these teams you can also pin up as favorites as well, and then you can bookmark things inside there as well. So maybe this team I was working with quite frequently and I wanted to pin that to one of my favorites, I could do that. Now that team is up here. You can see the difference between a team in favorites and a direct message right there. Okay, let's unpin that. Directly inside a team, I have some options here. I can invite people, I can share a file, I can create a task for someone, and I can integrate other apps. Those are basic things that you can do in others as well. And in here I can do I can click on here and I can immediately start an audio conference if I wanted to. You are the only participant. Okay, so that's pretty neat. Yeah, and then everyone else. Let's see how that works. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's let it Let me turn down this volume here.
UAD.
And then who else? Let's see. AG Trinity. So let's go over to Trinity. She's going to get a little toast in here. Right where? Right, you see there? She's got something going on in the Verizon, Team Verizon. She can go over there and she says, you can see that there's an audio conference that's starting right there. All right, let's go back over to Alex. Let's go ahead and hang that up. And let's go ahead in the same team there. Let's go ahead and create a video. Okay, here we go. We can start a meeting right from here. And now what this is going to do, remember, underneath the hood, it's Zoom, right? So we're going to go ahead and start a Zoom meeting. And then we can go over to Trinity, and you can see that she can go ahead and join right from there as well. And she'll be brought into that meeting very easily. One click goes right in. So they've done a good job of integrating Zoom, which they call RingCentral Meetings, right into their client quite well. And you get everything from here is Zoom. If you guys are familiar with Zoom, this should be old hat right here. Okay, let's go ahead. We're not going to leave meeting. Let's go back to Alex here. We're going to go ahead and end meeting. There's plenty of videos on Zoom stuff and RingCentral Meetings, so if you want to know all the features in there, go look on YouTube and you'll find plenty of stuff there. So we have some settings that we can do here also. Now some of these settings aren't going to be available unless you are an admin. Okay, so if I need to manipulate some settings for the team, people aren't going to see them here unless they're an admin. So Trinity is an admin. I want to see, you can stop the video and see what you see here. Let's go over to Trinity. We'll do the same thing in this team. We have right here, and we also have, there should be a little ellipses here. There we go. We can do it right here too. And we should have, yes, team members here. Okay, you can see this is different. I thought I was a admin of this team right here, but I'm not. So Trinity is an admin of this team though, and you can see because she created this team. Let's click on this one first. There we go. And you can see there's some extra things that are available here. Okay, primarily edit team details, manage members, things like that. So edit team details, this is where all you can turn on things and off things as far as what is available as features inside this particular team. All right. Okay, that's basically what you get in the messaging piece. All right, now there's a lot more features here. I'm just doing a cursory review here. Let's go back to Alex, and let's go over to the phone icon right here. So we click phone. This is all our phone stuff. So this is where my VoIP phone. Okay, what features do I have there? Well, I can type names. I can view my voicemails here. See, I thought I had a voicemail. Let's go over to Trinity. I want to show you guys what that looks like. There's a voicemail right there, and I can play it from here, things like that. I can also text this number back, which is kind of neat. I can call the number back. I can flag it. I can download it. I can block it, or I can delete it. Also, faxes are going to come in here, and any recordings. There's a feature inside RingCentral where you can record all calls, record on demand. So, like for a call center or something like that, or some kind of compliance, if you need to record calls, that's available as well. And if you wanted to call somebody, you would just type the name or number right here, or you can have a dial pad right here. And what's really neat too, you can also choose what number you're going to display. If you're calling, or the people in your company are calling, you can choose to have the main number displayed on caller ID, or you can block it, completely. And you can also change that, change the default in your preferences over here. So in preferences, there's a way, there you go, that default number. So the main number to the company in my little fictitious company here is this guy. So I can choose that one, and then that's going to be my default. From now on, I'll scroll through here. If you guys want to pause the video and look at all these settings here, you can certainly do that. Hopefully I didn't go too fast. Again, a pause should catch just about everything. There we go. Okay, I'm going to go back to calls here. And then if I wanted to call again, you can see it changed my default number, my call ID that I'm going to send out if I'm calling somebody. Okay, for the meet, let's go back over to Alex's desktop for meetings. And remember, we're talking about the Ring Central meetings / Zoom meetings. We can start a meeting, we can schedule a meeting, we can join a meeting, and we can share. Now, this share is for the in-room experience. So if you're in the room system, remember you have that iPad as a kiosk, and you can share here. And what happens here is there's going to be a key that displays on the monitor. You can write that key down or enter that key right in here. That's how you wirelessly share to that in-room system. Okay, so that's how that works. Let's go ahead and schedule a meeting just so you see how that works. I'm going to schedule. Now I have this integrated with Office 365, and in this particular PC I already have Outlook up. My Outlook is integrated with Office 365. Okay, and what I'm going to do is schedule a meeting, and I can put all my parameters in here. I'm going to push that button there. You can see Outlook comes up, it cross launches, and there's all my information. Okay, I can change this information if I want to. All right, and let's send it to Trinity. All right, we'll go ahead and send it. Let's go ahead and set it up for 4. It won't bother us, and we'll go ahead and send that away. And we'll look at it the other side, just so you can see how that works. There's our meeting. Now, it's quite interesting here. If I didn't have the client up on here, it's smart enough to know to bring the web app up. So when I don't have the client open, if I didn't have the client on here, the Outlook client that is, it would cross launch. If I would push this button, it would cross launch the Outlook web app, the Outlook online web app, and then I could put on the information in there. Kind of the same thing. We can join a meeting. Okay, there's a meeting ID, things like that. I can have some options there. I'll let you look at those, and I'm just going to click right here just so you can see what the meeting options are. And I'm just going to scroll through here. You can pause the video if you want to kind of take a closer look at these. All right, let's go over to the contacts. Now, this is pretty neat. These contacts sync with my Outlook since I have it integrated with Office 365. They sync these Outlook. How do I say that? These contacts sync with my online contacts. There's the right way to say it there. And yeah, so I think that's it there. Let's see what else we have over here. We have some other things. You know, this is where all our files, we can look at all our files, all our links that have been shared with us. This is across all items or all messaging. So I can see that I got some files inside these particular teams here. Trinity actually shared a file with me, and then if I want to see all files across all my messaging, I know that that one's in a team there. So you'd basically be able to find all files in one place here is what they're after. And then you can sort and things like that. You can look at thumbs. Okay, let's switch gears here. I'm going to go ahead and close this thick client. And we're going to bring up Chrome. And we're going to go right into their web app client. And again, as I said in the beginning, quite impressed in their web app. I couldn't find anything that was missing in their web app. Other vendors have some trouble in this area or have had some trouble in the past. I think Ring Central has done a good job with feature parity between their web app and their full thick client. Now, a lot of companies don't have the rights to their machines and things like that. They also maybe have distribute Chromebooks and things like that. So it's nice to have a full featured web app. Now, of course, it uses WebRTC for calling and for your VoIP phone and for your meetings and things like that. So you're gonna, mileage may vary on particular browsers. So I won't bore you with any more here. I can tell you that just about everything worked the same. Now, there was a couple of things that were kind of missing. For example, if you haven't noticed already, I don't have that share button over here. So that was the one thing I could find, wirelessly share. You know, remember I had that in the full client where I could wirelessly share to a display on the wall. Now I couldn't find how to do that. If there is a way, and someone knows that's watching this video, put it in the comments below for the folks, and for me too. So yeah, so that's the web app, and I'm not going to do everything there. It pretty much works. So let's go ahead and log out of here. We'll go ahead and go to Outlook. All right. So let's log into Office 365. Now, before I go there, too late, but I am going to show you that I have added the extension here to this Chrome. And if we look at under extensions here, you'll see that I've added, and you get this from Ring Central, I've added the Ring Central for Office extension. Okay, so let's see what that buys us here. You can see that Ring Central got a little button down here, and it also knows where I'm at. It knows that I'm integrated with Office 365. It knows I'm sitting in Office 365 workload, so it's going to bring up this little button over here, and I can bring that up, and there's my phone, you know, right there. Okay, so I can dial phone numbers and things like that from there. And also, you know, let me see if I can find someone's number here. If I go into my contacts, you see we have work phone numbers here, and we have a mobile phone number here under Lynn. And you can see I got some buttons right in there. If I click on that button, you know, it's going to dial that number from the Ring Central app. So I have the dial capability, and I also have the SMS capability right from within my web Outlook app online here. So that's kind of neat as well. So let's go ahead and make this call just so you see what it looks like. There's the call going out. I'm hanging that up. And what about if we wanted to SMS? There's the SMS, and then I can go ahead and SMS her right there. Doing that. Okay? So what else do we have up here? We have our history. We have our all the voicemails and faxes and texts right in here underneath the envelope. And then we have our folks here. So it will distinguish between what's online, right, and what's in the cloud as well. Okay, and we have some search capabilities there. Now the other neat thing, before I go into the schedule a meeting, I want to show you a setting real quick. In this setting, I've authorized the Office 365 integration inside this particular extension. So there's kind of two things that go on. There's an add the extension, right, and then it's going to know that you're in Office 365, and it's going to have some integration local, like the calling and things like that. And then you can go the extra step and get a little more tighter integration, and that's within the settings here. You authorize this particular extension for Office 365. What does that buy you? Well, it buys you a little bit tighter integration. If we go over here and I schedule a meeting, there's the meeting right there. And then just like in the thick client, remember, it knew to pop out Outlook. So if I go ahead and invite with Outlook calendar, it's going to pop out the Outlook web app. All right, so here it is. I'm going to get all my calendar information in there, and I'm going to get all my Ring Central meetings in the body, so I'm all good there. And then I can go ahead and just add details, add some folks in there who I want to be in the meeting. And then I can launch a meeting right from here as well. If I launch that, that's going to launch my Ring Central meetings. And it's just asking me if I want to open my thick client. Remember, you can open the thick client, or you can use the web client as well, right here. Okay, let's go ahead and open the thick client. There it goes. I won't go any further than that. I think you guys kind of get the picture here. Okay, before I go one step further and show you Office 365 and the extension, the Chrome extension, or Ring Central Chrome extension for Teams, let's go over to Teams real quick because I want to show you the bot. Now, everyone has the bot. Everyone has bots. You know, Zoom has a bot for this. WebEx has a bot for this. Basically the same thing. So here's Microsoft Teams, and if we go over here, I've already integrated this bot. Here it is. And a bot is, something you can talk to, and you can start your meetings and things like that. So basically, it's a Ring Central Meetings bot. That's what it is. Ring Central Meetings. That's all it brings into Microsoft Teams is the Ring Central Meetings. And in a team or a chat or something like that, let's go over to a team here. Let's go to this guy, and then you can see I have this button right here. I can click on that button. I have to invite the bot to a channel in this case, and I only have to do that one time. So let's go ahead and invite that. Hopefully this works okay. I haven't done it in that particular team yet. There we go. Everything's working now. And then I can post either a video meeting, or maybe I just want the conference call, and let's post that to the team, and we'll see how that looks. And there you have it. So there's your stuff. So you can post that in any team, okay? Excuse me, any channel, any direct message, whatever. That's going to launch the video conference. And there, same thing as before. We're going to open that. It's going to open the Ring Central meeting, aka Zoom, and they're going to start the meeting. All right, we'll go ahead and end that meeting. You know how that all works. Okay, and that's basically what we have for the Microsoft Teams thick client. We just have the bot that we can bring in. However, now let me go back and show you the online version. So let's go ahead and close this guy up, sign out of that. But this is where they did something interesting. So we're already in the online version of Outlook, right? Let's go ahead and, I didn't mean to do that. All right, right in here. So we're going to click our little apps here, and let's go over to Teams. Okay. So once again, we're loading the web app of Microsoft Teams, and remember, I said that the Ring Central also has a plugin for the web app. So what's different? Well, something very interesting is different. And I can see here, this is a beta version. And if I go to settings here, go to settings. And if you go to Microsoft Teams settings, you see these two right here. Remember, I was talking in the intro about yanking the PBX and your phone number and your video stuff out of Teams and putting in the fully developed PBX in the cloud and meeting stuff that Ring Central has. This is how we do it right here. Again, this little widget comes up here, this Chrome extension, because it knows I'm in the Office 365 web portal, or I'm using those workloads over there. So this is going to pop up. I got a little bit of similar integration as far as the contacts, click to dial and things like that within here. However, if you look here, let me turn this off and let me turn this off. Did you see something different? I hope you saw that. But right up here, you see how this turned purple? So this is not here in a regular Teams client. This is an SMS little button here. So if I were just using Teams, the online app, I would not have this, and I would have these two. Okay, this is Microsoft Meetings. This is the Microsoft Teams meetings, and this is using Microsoft's phone. Okay, VoIP phone. If I had a number, and things like that, this is I would go to my little phone here, and that's where I'm going to, in fact, go over here, calls. Right, this is, you can see this is all Microsoft Teams stuff. All right, this is how I dial. Now, I don't have a number associated. I don't have a calling plan for you Microsoft people on this particular client. I don't have that on purpose, because if you were going to integrate Ring Central into this, you wouldn't want to use Microsoft stuff. Okay? Now, in Microsoft, I could also turn off the video portion as well. And then what that would buy me here is, if I were using the Ring Central stuff, then I would turn these on, right? I would turn these on because I want to use, let's see, this one right here, this one right here. Let me turn on, let me take off this and turn on Ring Central, and you see it just changes. So now if I click this button, you know, I'm actually going to make a call to, I'm talking to Anson here, to his number, his PSTN number that's in my contacts, right? And there's a call, it gets extended out. Now, in contrast to, let me turn that off now. Turn that off. Okay. Now let's make the call. See? Now it's going to make a Microsoft Teams call. Right? Boom. And not only that, but it gives you the option. So if you want to do the default, you can turn it on. If you want the option, it'll be right here. So I can make a Microsoft Teams call. That's what that looks like. Okay, that's regular Microsoft Teams. Or I can make a PSTN call using Ring Central as the backend PBX. And there it is. Okay, that's kind of neat, because you bring in that wealth of PBX features right into Microsoft Teams, albeit only the web app of Microsoft Teams. I wish they had a thick client version of this integration as well. Now, just real quick, we have also the option over here in the meetings, right? Because we know that Ring Central has the Ring Central meetings, aka Zoom meetings, and we can do that here too. So if I wanted to have a meeting with Anson, I'd click Ring Central, and there's my stuff. Very easy. So it's pasted in there, and then I can, everyone in this team, if it were a team, this is just a direct message, but if we were in a team, we would go ahead and everyone would click that and then go into the team. Now, this is great stuff. This is good stuff. Now, just, you know, a couple of things that are cons here, right, in Microsoft Teams, if you're using their system and you're recording and things like that, right, everything gets loaded to vStream, and then that vStream is put in. vStream is their little YouTube cloud version inside a company, and that recording would then be put in here in the channel, in the team channel, or in the direct message here, and then you could go watch it later. So there's some things that you lose, but you gain that number one UCaaS PBX in the cloud system by doing it this way. So hopefully this has been helpful to you, and hey, thanks for watching.